All right, so I'm Blake from Blake and Vish Sports, and with me is sports statistician Nick Nassos, and we're going to be covering the Week 10 NFL, and this is our betting guide. So we're going to start off with covering every single game. So the first game is the 6-2 Packers versus the 1-7 Jaguars. So in this game, MVP candidate Rodgers is looking to lead the Packers to the top of the NFC, while the Jaguars are looking to get a top 5 pick as they're at the bottom of the AFC South.
The next game is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are 6-3. They are playing against the Carolina Panthers, who are 3-6. The Panthers are looking for a win after losing 4 straight games, while Tampa Bay is still looking for a push of the top of the NFC.
So the next game is Houston versus Cleveland. We'll be talking about that in a little bit. Following is the 3-4-1 Eagles versus the 2-7 Giants. So these are two NFC East teams that are playing for playoff implications. These teams played a couple weeks ago, and it ended with a fourth quarter touchdown from Wentz to Boston Scott, and the game was only decided by 1 point.
The next game is the Washington football team. They are sitting at 2-6. They will be playing against the Detroit Lions, who are 3-5. A healthy Stafford is returning this week, and he looks to knock Washington out of playoff contention.
The next game is the Bills, who are 7-2, versus the 5-3 Cardinals. Josh Allen and Kyler Murray are two young quarterbacks, both trying to prove they can win against a strong opponent. Both games have playoff implications in both AFC and NFC.
Next, we have the 2-6 Chargers, who are facing off against the Dolphins at 5-3. The two rookie quarterbacks, Herbert and Tua, face off in their rookie seasons. Miami looks to continue their hot streak and push for a playoff spot in the AFC.
Following that is going to be the 3-5 Broncos versus the 5-3 Raiders. In this divisional matchup, the Raiders are going to be trying to secure their playoff spot, while the Broncos are looking to gain momentum and beat a division rival.
Next, we have the Bengals, who are 2-5-1, playing the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers at 8-0. The Steelers look to remain undefeated and obtain the number 1 seed in the AFC, while Joe Burrow and the Bengals look to play spoiler.
All right, following that is going to be the Seahawks versus the Rams. Seahawks are 6-2, Rams are 5-3. Both are NFC West teams. Again, playoff implications involved here. This matchup's highlighted by the Seahawks' strong offense versus the Rams' stout defense. Both have been top 5 rankings.
And we have the Sunday night game. Baltimore, who is 6-2, facing off against New England at 3-5. The Ravens are continuing to push for the AFC North champion as Cam Newton and the injured Patriots look to get closer to 500.
And the final game is going to be the Monday night game between the Vikings and the Bears. The Bears are 5-4, while the Vikings are 3-5. The Vikings are looking to continue their hot streak behind running back Dalvin Cook, while the Bears are looking to gain steam after dropping a few in a row. All right, so as you can see, we each have our picks. Some of the main differences is I have the Buccaneers, while Nick has the Panthers. Another difference is the Washington game. And now we're going to get into our 3 games, which we really like. So the first one is going to be the over-under of the Browns game, the Browns-Texans game. So when looking at the defenses, both teams allow roughly 30 points per game, which puts them in the bottom 8 for points allowed per game. The last 3 games the Texans have played, the combined score has been over 49. And
we really like the over 49 here because the Texans are 29th in defense, as Blake said, one of the bottom teams in the NFL, and so are the Browns at 26. So these are two defenses that haven't really proven anything this year, and we think it'll be a very high-scoring game. Also, the Browns have scored an average of 39 points against teams under 500 this year, and Baker Mayfield loves to torch bad defenses.
To add to this, This will be highlighted by Nick Chubb for the Browns coming back. So they're a really good backfield of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt's going to be back, as well as the Texans offense with Watson and Will Fuller is looking to continue to put up a lot of points. All right, so the next game that we like is going to be the spread of the Saints 49ers game. So the Saints have been averaging 30 a game, which is best for fourth in the league. Last week, Michael Thomas returned to the field, and they beat down the Buccaneers 38-3 on Sunday night. The Saints' offense has been really efficient in keeping the ball. They have the fourth fewest turnovers.
Yeah, and the last two games were by double digits, allowed over 30 points, and failed to cover the spread, while the 49ers have a long list of injured reserves at key positions. They don't really have anyone who's too healthy right now on their offense, and that'll definitely make a difference. Also on their defensive line, it's also banged up.
To add to that, we saw what happened last week. The Thursday night game for the 49ers, they lost by 17 to the Packers.
Our last game is the Monday night game. So we love the Bears plus 130. This is a classic division matchup between the Vikings and the Bears. Cousins 0-9 on Monday Night Football. That's the worst record ever for a quarterback on Monday Night Football. The Vikings allow the 25th most points so far this year, and the Bears have not lost to the Vikings since 2017, so we don't see why they'd lose now.
So another reason we really like this is the Bears' strength, which is their defensive line, which has Akeem Hicks, Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn and company against not the best pass blocking Vikings offensive line. It's one of their weakest points, although they do have good running back, receivers, and tight ends. Their offensive line is one of their weaknesses. Furthermore, the Bears have one of the best third down defenses, statistically the best, and the Vikings third down off hasn't been great, or converting under 40%, which is bottom half of the league. So that'll be, again, another key reason we really like the Bears money line on this game.
Now we're going to talk about some of the teams that you should probably stay away from when you're making your bets this week.
So the first one we're going to talk about is the Giants versus the Eagles. So division rivalry, like we said earlier, and in division games, teams usually play each other a lot closer because they see each other more often. And last game, like mentioned previously, was a one-score game. It ended in a last-minute touchdown. Wentz threw a wheel route to Boston Scott, who caught it. And, betting on that game would have been very stressful, as you could have seen it ending either way. So we're really looking to stay away from the NFC East game.
Also, the other game you should probably stay away from is the Lions and the Washington football team. Both these teams have been super inconsistent so far this season. The Lions beat the Cardinals, but they also got ran over by the Vikings. We don't like NFC East teams, as we already mentioned in the other game, and also the Lions are playing like an NFC East team with the inconsistency we're seeing out of them.
Yep. So now we're going to move on to the next segment, which is our moonshots, or our long ball. Really good odds, but unlikely to happen, that we are convinced will happen. So one of the games that I'm interested in seeing is the Chargers versus the Dolphins. Tua versus Herbert is going to be a good matchup. The Dolphins have been red hot lately, and the Chargers have not lost a game this year by more than 7, so they keep every game close regardless of what their record looks like. So I'm really liking the Chargers at plus 0.5 and over 56.5 points. I think it could be really high scoring. The Chargers defense hasn't been the best, and the Chargers offense has been pretty good this year.
And for my moonshot, I have Buffalo Bills beating the Cardinals by 7 to 12 points at plus 550. And this is because I love the Bills this year. Josh Allen's playing the best season of his career by far. He's going to take them back to the playoffs. He's probably going to do some work in the playoffs. And this week, the Cardinals are favored, a 2-point favorite. And Josh Allen, he's going to want to show why they shouldn't be a favorite. He just killed the Seahawks, and now he's going to kill the Cardinals.
All right. And for the last portion of this, we're going to talk about our locks. So who we think are for sure to win and good bets. And we do have a disclaimer. So the odds cannot be better than minus 200. This is done so that we're not just picking super obvious things. So what my lock is it's actually a 2-team parlay. It's going to be the Saints money line and the Ravens money line. So as I mentioned earlier, the Saints are going to be playing the 49ers, and the 49ers have been decimated by injuries. They didn't look great against the Packers, and the Saints played the best game of the season last week. So I really think they'll win. And the Ravens, they've also been playing really well this year. And the injury-riddled Patriots have been struggling as of recent, as Cam Newton doesn't really have any weapons, and their defense has been decimated by injuries also. So minus 160 on that.
My lock this week is the Cleveland Browns money line at minus 180. As I said earlier in the video, Baker Mayfield loves torching terrible defenses. The Texans have a terrible defense. Deshaun Watson is missing his star running back, David Johnson. He's going to have to throw the ball more. He only has Will Fuller to throw the ball to. I see no way that the Cleveland Browns lose this game against the Texans this week.
So that's going to wrap it up for our Week 10 analysis and predictions. Subscribe to the channel and come back next week for our recap of Week 10 and then our Week 11 predictions as well.